Morning guys, welcome to my channel. I'm not sure what time it is in your country, but yeah, I just want to bring under your attention today that I found out that the taxes in South Africa is becoming a problem. Of course, now also we have to be careful. So just found out, and I want you to be the judge of this. I don't think that's fair that we as the citizens of South Africa must go through all this, and this because of taxi bosses that don't care about your life. I'm going to show you a video about what happened a couple of days ago where this driver just picked up, uh, so to say, someone that's looking for a lift. But in the process, a car put up in front of them with police flashes and another car from behind. And they actually tried to pull over this car and block him in. So they boxed this car because he picked up someone that was in need of a lift. And it's been said that, according to them, that that's not allowed. But the reason for that is they want to rule. They want to be the law. They want to make the law. So that's unacceptable. And what is also a bit disturbing is that what they did is a bit very dangerous to road users. I mean, they mean to tell us that we can't pick up a family member on the road. Imagine you're passing by and you find there's a family member waiting on a taxi. Now, you haven't seen the family member for maybe years. Or it might be your mother or your brother. Now you pick them up and it's been told to you that you can't give them a lift. I mean, come on guys, we're living at the same address, we're going the same direction, or if not, it's got nothing to do with you. Who I pick up in my vehicle. Now listen to the taxi boss. That is a law according to them, that's their law. So they want to say it's not safe for us to, or anyone to drive with a family member. You must take the taxi. And according to them, is the reason for that you must take a taxi is because for safety purposes. I mean, come on, guys. How many of those taxis are unroadworthy? How many people lost their lives in those taxis because it's not roadworthy? Or how many people lost their lives because it was of our people lost our lives because of taxi wars? Come on, are you serious? I can't pick up a family member because it's dangerous. That's not your problem. What happened? As long as we say, this is my family, this is my sister, this is my mom, this is my grandchild, or whoever it is, it's related to us. You have no right telling us who to pick up and not to pick up. Out of my experience in Cape Town only, I know Joburg, Gauteng is much worse, but in Cape Town, I experienced that taxi drivers have no respect for the passengers. Why am I saying that? They drive like hooligans. They cut through every gap, and you as a passenger must just keep your mouth shut. Guys, are you real? Now, I want to play you this video, and I want you to be the judge of this. What do you think? What are these people up to? By telling us who we must give a look. Not actually who we must give a look at. We are not supposed to give anyone a look waiting on a taxi. They rush through the traffic. Your life, some taxis ask you, depending on the distance, they ask you 10 rand, 10 zars from one point to another point. What do? They overload the taxis because of another 10 zar. So they mostly focus on finance, money. Yes, it's your job, it's their job. We know that. But the fact remains is, don't risk the civilians' lives because of a 10 rand. A 10 zars. What can you do with 10 zars? Come on, guys, be real. I'm not going to risk my life. If I find a family member on the road, I will pick him up. And I don't care what they say. That is my family. I think my family member would rather die with me in my vehicle than dying with strangers because of a little bit of money. So guys, I want you to listen to what this taxi bosses also have to say. and the taxi organization, then you tell me if you agree with him. So let let you be the judge on that. Let you be the judge of that, because I won't agree with what they are saying. No, that's unacceptable. They are already risking that people's life in that small car. I mean, look at the car. Look the way what they're doing in front of the person. They don't care if that person lose control of the car and end up losing their lives because of their stupidity. I would say they're stupid doing stuff like that. So I wonder, where's the cops? Why are these people allowed to drive with those flashlights? And look what they are doing. They are committing a crime. I see that as a crime. I don't know how you see it, but for me, this is unacceptable. And we need to put a stop to this. Our government must step in. No private vehicle are allowed to have flashes, whether they are private security. They should have a badge displayed on the vehicle with the company name, not a civilian car, because those are the cars that commit crimes. I'm telling you, if you look at the great Toyota Corolla in front, those are with flashes, those are the type of vehicles that's causing crime after hours, because they pull off people. People accept them, expect them to be like law officers. So just to realize afterwards that they're being robbed, killed, raped. Guys, this is not acceptable.
Let's get into this conversation now. There's growing outrage over a number of viral videos showing taxi patrollers allegedly harassing motorists who give hitchhikers a lift. Government officials from various provinces have promised to look into these incidents. The South African National Taxi Council's Mpumalanga chairperson is Fanyana Sibanyoni, who joins us this evening. Mr. Sibanyoni, good evening to you, and thank you for your time. Are you aware of these incidences where taxi patrollers are literally stopping motorists who are giving hitchhikers a lift and basically just either shambooking them or telling people to get off the cars? Do you agree with this?
Good evening, Koli, and your listeners. Let's just correct, I'm not from National Taxi Alliance, I'm from Santaco, the umbrella body of the taxi industry in South Africa.
Understood. Thank you for that correction, sir. Do you agree with this kind of behavior?
No, Koli, we don't agree. Let me first say, every company, when they start their business, they need securities. Including yourself, where you are sitting now at the SABC. Outside the SABC, there are securities who are looking after the building. Companies like Sasol, where I'm staying in Secunda, you can't enter Sasol anytime the way you want because there are securities, including the government himself. He's got his own securities that are police. So there is nothing wrong with the taxi industry to have securities to look after our business.
Okay, but let me jump in there, Mr. Sibanyoni, okay. Because as you talk, we have visuals of a motor vehicle, a small car, that is being blocked by a Toyota Corolla, and that Toyota Corolla, you can tell from the doors, the side doors, it even has blue lights at the top, that it is one of those that I guess provides security to taxi operators. But they are literally blocking this small car from passing. And it is alleged that this is one of the incidents that occurred because that car was carrying a passenger. Are you saying that this behavior, what viewers are watching now, is acceptable behavior? Does that form part of security?
No, that's what I was trying to explain, Cody, to you, to say every company's got the right to have securities to look after their businesses. But we are not saying the security has a right to what they have done there, as I've seen today. Because our securities are there to protect our business. But securities are not allowed to break the law. South Africa is one of the countries that have laws. So if the securities are breaking the laws, people must go to the police station and open a case, because Santaco is not above the law. So the thing that I'm seeing now on TV, it's the first time I'm seeing it. It's wrong. It's not what we have sent them to do.
Yeah.
So
Okay, let me ask this straightforward question.
They must not run to the media and report such things. These things must be reported to the police because we are not condoning such things.
Here's a direct question. Are people who own cars allowed to give hitchhikers a lift?
No, they are not allowed. It's our business. They are infringing our rights because we are taxi operators with permit to load passengers. But people cannot just pick up people because they're not taxis.
If it's a family member, if it is my family member that I'm giving a lift to work.
How do you see your family member on the street?
So I'm supposed to confirm to you that this is my family member and somehow
as
prove...
I was saying, every company's got securities. If you see there's a family member is hiking there and you see there's a patrol car, just stop your car, go to the security guy and explain to them to say, this is my family member, please allow me to pick that person. I don't think they'll give you a problem.
It's a country of laws, Mr. Sibanyoni. I do not have to explain myself to I don't have to explain myself to a security guard who is driving in a vehicle. For all I know, this could be a criminal. Why must I stop and explain myself to some person as to why I have a passenger in my car?
Yes, it's a country of law, but that country of law, it doesn't say you must violate other people's rights. Because, yes, everybody's got a right in this country, but it doesn't say you must violate other people's rights so that you can enjoy your rights.
Mr. Sibanyoni, I'd like for you to just hold the line for a moment because the listening on the other side of the line is Miss Rebecca Phala, and she is with Santaco at national level.
Yes.
Ms. Phala, are you there? Can you hear us?
Hi, yes, I can, and good evening to Chairman Sibanyoni.
Do you hear him when he says that people in Mpumalanga have no right to ferry a passenger in their car, otherwise they're going to have to explain themselves to security that is or that belongs to the taxi industry there? Is that allowed?
Well, for starters, Xoli, the sentiment that Chairman Sibanyoni is sharing is exactly the sentiment that is understood on a national basis. So we're literally going to tell you the same thing. When you speak about urgency that South Africans are supposedly exercising when they load people into their private vehicles, there's a very thin line that we seem to be missing with you colleagues in the Fourth Estate. And that's the thin line of the aspect of the reality that we know, which is a reality that we are in a country that's got a high number of violence. The taxi industry, just as with any other operator in the transport sector, is permitted to transport people on a daily basis. When you start saying to us, people must be allowed to be loaded into private vehicles, you're essentially saying that people should now expose themselves to the danger that comes with getting into a vehicle that's not permitted to be transporting private citizens.
Hold on, Ms. Phala. Hold on, Ms. Phala. Hold on, Ms. Phala. In South Africa, we have the South African Police Service. They are the people who are empowered by law to do exactly what you purport the taxi industry security is doing. But we'll get to that in a moment. If I have a relative and we're both going to work and they are in my car, do you have a right as Santaco to stop me and say, who is this person seated next to you? That is the bone of contention here. Is that what essentially you're saying Santaco is permitted to do?
The use of the word permitted is rather unfortunate for this. I think we need to also be careful, right, in the phrasing of the question so that we don't distort what we're saying. We are saying that there is a reality of criminality in this country. There's also a reality of people who want to take business from those who are permitted to transport South Africans, because most of the people that get to load private citizens into their private vehicles are generating money from that. That is wrong. They cannot do that when there are people in the business.
How do you know that,
who
ma'am?
have been permitted to do that.
How do you know that a person who has stopped to give a hitchhiker a lift is getting payment for that?
Toli, do you want to really tell me that you don't know that to be the truth as a South African? That these so-called hitchhiking spots, people literally go there to load people and they make them pay a rate that's lesser than what you would get at a taxi and a bus. You can't want to tell me that you don't know that to be the truth. It is happening. It shouldn't be happening. We can't be found to be encouraging people to get into private vehicles, posing a threat to their lives, when there are people in the business of transporting South Africans.
Ms. Pala,
by the way, if you're short,
Ms. Pala,
they don't mind loading you onto a car. Yes.
Ms. Pala, have you seen private vehicles fetching people at a taxi rank for a fee?
It happens all the time. It happens all the time. Remember even last year when we had the challenge of what happened in Soweto, you literally had people in private vehicles going to lure commuters before they can walk into a taxi rank to say, rather come into my car, I'll drive you at a lessened rate. Perhaps the issue here might just be that maybe you don't know the realities on the ground. It does happen. People get lured on the ground by private citizens who maybe need help with adding on to their petrol money or whatever else they might be needing, and they make them pay at an agreed upon fee without permits, whereas you've got people who are permitted to transport South Africans, and those are meter taxis, minibus taxis, buses, and the works. It happens, Toli.
Ms. Pala, until you, as Santaco, prove that, I am going to have to say to you, let's agree to disagree. And so, as we conclude this conversation, I want to bring in Mr. Sibanyoni back into the conversation because he's also been holding the line. Mr. Sibanyoni, Santaco is a government-recognized taxi body. With this kind of behavior, I put it to you that the Department of Transport is possibly going to have huge problems with you. Are they aware that you are doing this?
No, thanks, Colin. Let me first correct the statement that you have said to Mrs. Pala. I did not say in Mpumalanga you are not allowed to carry or to ferry your families. I did not say that. But let me say, you as media, you are trying to promote this thing. You are actually exaggerating the situation.
It's not an exaggeration. It's not an exaggeration,
no,
Mr. Sibanyoni. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When you see the visuals I'm seeing right now, the disturbing behavior is on the part of the person who is trying to block a fellow motorist from driving on a road.
But that is one incident that happened in Nelspruit. You can't be saying in Mpumalanga because that scene is in Nelspruit. So you can't be saying in Mpumalanga.
So where in Mpumalanga is this allowed to happen?
This thing happened in Nelspruit, and Nelspruit is not Mpumalanga. It's one of the towns in Mpumalanga. So it must not be said as if in Mpumalanga we are not allowed to hitchhike.
All right.
It is incorrect.
All right. Let's conclude the conversation with this.
And it's not stepping, Koli, Nina as media, you will go out and encourage people to go and pick up people on the street. It is wrong. Hence, I was saying to you, even where you are sitting now, there are security outside that are guarding your building.
Let me conclude.
Every company has got its own securities.
Allow me.
I don't know why it is wrong when it comes to the taxis, when we have our own people that are protecting our business.
Because that behavior,
we are not promoting what I'm seeing now.
Mr. Sibanyoni.
It was wrong. I agree it's wrong.
Yes.
People must go and open cases.
Yeah, and that scene has nothing to do with security. Let me close it with Ms. Pala. Ms. Pala, you are a recognized body by government. And I'm saying to you, your behavior is unacceptable and it borders on criminality. Do you agree or disagree?
Important question, Xoli. When people, civilians, are being harassed, money is being extorted from them, that, like you rightly say, is criminality. Hence, Mr. Sibanyoni said to you earlier on, people need to also understand that criminality must be referred to law enforcement. So we must be understood clearly. We are not saying we are promoting and mandating people to go harass South Africans. That's not what we're saying. We're saying that we want, as we have these conversations about the criminality that's seeping into the taxi industry, we must not be found to be encouraging hitchhiking because it has been proven to be dangerous and really perpetuating violence. So criminality is not mandated by the taxi industry. We don't take pride in there being criminality in our name.
All right.
Hence, we also have disciplinary proceedings. Law enforcement must be allowed to do its work.
Rebecca Phala, National Spokesperson for Santaco, I want to thank you for your time. And Mr. Fanyana Sibanyoni in Mpumalanga, again, also belonging to Santaco, I want to thank you very much for your time. I wonder what your thoughts are.
Yes, so guys, I will be doing a part 2 on this video where we will be having like the person who gave the hitchhiker a lift. So just stay informed, just hit that notification bell, and there will be a part 2 on this.